8 correctional officers of color are suing Ramsey County for discrimination. An attorney representing the officers says they were prohibited from entering or working on the floor where former MPD officer Derek Chauvin was being held. The attorney spoke about the lawsuit against the county this morning. Right now, our community, our state, and our country are grieving the senseless death of George Floyd and far too many other people of color. Many of us are using this moment to examine and take a closer look at racism and the small and large systemic injustices facing our neighbors of color. Unfortunately, we're here today to bring light to another example of prejudice and discrimination, this time in the workplace. On Friday, May 29th, 8 correctional officers of color went to work at Ramsey County Jail, which is right here behind me, expecting to do their jobs. However, they were prevented from doing so when former police officer Derek Chauvin arrived at the jail that afternoon. Upon his arrival, Superintendent Leiden ordered that all the correctional officers of color were to be prohibited from guarding Chauvin or going anywhere on the 5th floor where he was to be held. This decision was made solely because of the color of the officer's skin. We're here today because 8 individuals who were impacted by this decision were brave enough to come forward. It was not easy, and it still isn't easy. Out of fear of retaliation, they've made the difficult decision to remain anonymous today. They're fearful of losing their jobs and livelihood and putting their families at risk. My clients are kind, fiercely loyal, passionate people who care deeply about each other and about their job. And the deliberate discriminatory treatment they received from Ramsey County on May 29th has left them feeling broken. This morning, I'll share a brief overview of the events at Ramsey County Jail, and then I'll take questions from reporters. On May 29th, officers of color were busily preparing the jail for Chauvin's arrival when they were informed in various ways that they would be reassigned away from any task requiring them to be on the 5th floor of the jail where Chauvin was to be held. For example, 2 of the officers of color were tasked with cleaning the 5th floor to prepare for Chauvin's arrival, which involved removing urine and other unsanitary waste. When the cleaning was done, they were hastily reassigned away from the 5th floor once Chauvin arrived. One acting sergeant was stopped in the middle of booking Chauvin by the superintendent himself, who told the sergeant he did not want the sergeant transporting Chauvin to his unit. One acting sergeant was stopped. Several correctional officers of color were interrupted in the middle of responding to an emergency call and informed that they would not be permitted to complete the emergency procedure because it involved taking the inmate to the 5th floor. Another officer realized something was wrong because he was in the control room and noticed on the jail's cameras that all of the correctional officers of color were on the 3rd floor. These officers initially thought the interruption to their schedules was odd, but later learned it was no coincidence. Superintendent Leiden had issued an order prohibiting all employees of color from working on the 5th floor. At least one officer of color was also reassigned away from the 5th floor for her weekend shift on May 31st.
All right, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Yahushua, by Hashem Kadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS and his sincere shalom to the brothers out here pushing this truth and sincerity, and shalom to the elect. So now, usually, it's kind of funny on this one because usually I don't do any videos on this whole victims of or whoever got caught during this during the killing and shit, but it's the fact that 8 correctional officers was not allowed to escort this man or even be nowhere near this man. I mean, sure, you could probably say they was probably going to beat him up or something, but or some other stuff. But you talking about other jigs that are professional that really don't even care. But let's even skip that part. This is Esau, or this bunch of Edomites saying that they basically protecting Chauvin or don't even want him near these other correctional officers. And then, as you heard it, she said they felt broken. And this is what we tell you people, that Esau is not your friend. They pray over them Edomite officers are probably up there kicking it with Chauvin. And y'all just left it distraught. This is Matthew 24:6. It says, "And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars, and see that ye be not troubled." I'm gonna stop there because surprisingly, well, this is just put up, but if a lot of people, especially Jake or even BLM, probably even catch wind of this, which they more probably won't because it's a selective thing, but this could also lead to another blown out riot, which may or may not happen. But it's still the fact that these games keep being pulled up, and then Jake's getting tired of it. Now even Esau's loyal subjects are heard about it. Here you actually have your own subjects that's willing to work with you and all that. But this is what happens. You Jake, that place so much trust into to these bastards. This is what you get. This is exactly what you get, because now we understand that, Jake, if you gotta work, you gotta work. If you happen, that's just how this place is. But y'all willingly, or should I say, y'all really felt hurt when they didn't want y'all butts around them. What did you expect was going to happen? That y'all was going to share cupcakes and teas all day together? Y'all just little servants under them. Yeah, you may work with them, but that's about all it goes for. This is Isaiah 31:1. It says, "Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses and trust in chariots." And this is exactly what our people deserve. Not only does the people in BLM feel betrayed because now their masters ain't loving them, now your own servants, now these servants are upset because their master turned their backs on them. Don't even want them near the guy. But we didn't told you people to stop trusting into your oppressor. But this is what y'all gonna keep doing, because it was basically ordained. Really, y'all gonna keep following your oppressor until this place is destroyed and you're brought back right. That's why the Lord sent us out here to only gather the elect, which is a small remnant. This ain't everybody things y'all people like to claim. The Lord said he's only coming back for a small remnant, which was his elect. It goes no further than that. But y'all ain't looking forward to the Lord coming back to get y'all. Y'all were looking forward to the next everyday life going into the society. But where does it go from there? You do the same thing every day. You wake up, you go to work, come home, do chores. If you have kids, you gotta deal with them. You gotta worry about getting food, medical supplies, bills. You go to sleep, you rinse and repeat the day. What gets better about that? You work a whole year. You got your state and federal income. Then you want to go on a vacation. But how long does a vacation last for? First of all, you had to work a whole year. You had to work more than even a year to even get a real vacation in this society. So that tells you something is screwed. People don't make enough to even go on a vacation, especially nowadays. especially with everything that's going on. So what are you going to do when you can't go on a vacation? This is because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. And this is what happens when our people don't seek the Lord. They seek this madness, and then they seek love from the madness that's giving them hell. This is Psalms 10:2. It says, "The wicked and the proud doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined." So Esau is going to keep persecuting our people and anybody else he can get his hands on. And then the worst part about it, our own people will persecute us because we're over here telling them the truth that you ain't going to get Esau's approval or love or attention that the way you want it to be. So not only does Esau has be taken into the devices that he's imagined, the missiles, but even our own people has to be taken into devices that they have imagined, which is their oppressor. Their oppressor is going to end up killing them, or some other things, which we all know. But this is why the Lord says, actually, Jeremiah 11:14 says, "Pray not for thou for this people, neither lift up a cry of prayer for them, for I will not hear them in the time that they cry unto me." The Lord didn't put that scripture in there for no reason. It was in there. It was in there specifically because of this type of stuff. Because of this type of stuff. And the funny part is, he said, "Don't let them into that particular floor." They were still allowed to work, but they felt hurt that they couldn't be allowed into that floor for some reason. They couldn't guide this man in there for some reason. So they decide, because that's what she's going to explain later on to the video, that they decide to I guess I can't even call it a ride. They really just went home. They said they felt emotional distress and some other BS. So they stayed home. Now they requesting that that they get an apology, money back from the time they took off, and a replacement for leadership. We'll see how well that goes, or how long it lasts. But our people are serious when it comes to Esau, but never when it comes to the Lord. Our people go above and beyond for this society, for their wildest dreams. You have yet to never have it actually realized that these people can't do exactly what they want to do. But even if, but hell, the little bit of wickedness they can do, Jake will take it as far as he can make it to go. So that's pretty much all I wanted to go into, just to show that clip. So with that, shalom.